David, what is PDS?
Pace to Donna Schrader, a new gallery.
It's only a gallery?
Well, we hope to do a lot more, but the basis will be a secondary gallery focusing on a number of, I would say, high quality shows a year, several art fairs, but we'll also advise estates, buy and sell material, and really be a full service secondary dealer.
And you need a space for that?
We do. We think shows are really critical to what we're going to do, and I think Emmanuel and Mark have a deep history of doing, pretty amazing historical shows, and that's something we really think is core to our practice.
What about Mark?
What about Mark?
He does shows too, no?
I said, to their practice. He has an amazing Agnes Martin show right now.
But how shall it work? Pace is swallowed by PDS?
No, Pace will continue to exist, and this will be a new company
in
focused
parallel?
Only in parallel, focused on secondary market.
What about Emmanuel?
Emmanuel as well. The three of us will put all of our efforts into this new company.
So it means Emmanuel is closing his gallery?
Effectively, whether it's probably more a merger than a closing, but his gallery will be the kind of foundation for the new partnership.
And where does the idea come from?
I think the idea, we partnered for many years. Mark and Emmanuel have been close. I've done shows with Emmanuel over the last number of years. Mark and I do a lot of business together. So I think it's a bit of a reaction to the market, and we feel that there's space at the moment for a great secondary dealer, another great secondary dealer. And I think we're at a moment in the cycle where things have bottomed, taste have become a bit more classic, and I think we'll be one of the few dealers where we can really help source and sell and curate people's collections over the last 150 years. So we can go from Impressionism and modern to pop to classic to contemporary.
And how can you be complementary, the three of you?
I think we're all quite different, to be fair. I think, one from a historical standpoint, Emmanuel focuses on a particular section in time, which has been less the expertise of Mark and myself. Mark somewhere in the middle, and myself
yourself?
Really post-war and contemporary. So I think from that standpoint, in the programming and the expertise, will complement each other. And I also think our client bases are quite different, where Emmanuel's may skew a little more European, Mark it might be more tech and Asia, and myself more New York and America.
And you said that you reacted to the market. So how is the market now? How can you describe the market?
Look, I think the market is clearly dynamic and ever evolving, but I feel over the last few months we're entering, what I would call the next cycle. And I think we saw better depth of bid, more interest in both London, Paris, and that extended into New York. And I suspect we'll see similar behaviors this week, where there's more interest again in art, there's more confidence in art, and we're seeing more people, there's not just one bidder, there's now multiple bidders, which is great.
And but the mystery about this new company is more about Pace, because they have already classic artists, classic contemporary artists like Roscoe, for example, and also they have an extraordinary space that is not completely full all the time. So why do you would need you after all?
So I think we'll have access to the Pace spaces, particularly outside of New York, whether it's Japan or Korea or London. I think
you have access.
We have access to the spaces if we want to do a show. But really, we'll have a new space, which will be on the Upper East Side. It'll be a new concept, and I think Pace has a history of having Pace prints and Pace primitive and
photo
even photo. So I think that's been in their DNA for quite some time, and I think Arnie will be with us and helping as well. And obviously he wears a lot of different hats. But I think the history of 65 years of Pace is pretty amazing and something that we're really excited to be part of.
Yeah, but you can be excited, but why would he be excited after all?
I think they're always innovating and thinking of new ideas, and ultimately the three of us together can do shows that really were outside of what Pace has done. And I think Mark and Mark's team have always done quite a lot of secondary as a percentage of their sales. Don't ask me the number because I don't know what the number is, which I know is your next question.
No.
But I think, having a dedicated new company that focuses primarily on secondary will let the full concentration of Mark be on that.
And do you think there's a lack of secondary high-quality deals today?
I think there have been a lack of high-quality secondary deals because people haven't had the confidence to sell into what they perceive to be a weak market. And I think the auctions that we've seen in the last 3 weeks should start to give a little more confidence. And I think even if you looked at who was selling and what was being sold, it was primarily estates. And there was not that many single pieces. And I think you'll see that in the auctions as well start to change over the next 3 to 12 months.
And do you think there's a lack of expertise in the secondary market for classical 20th century work?
I do. And I think, Mark, who's been going to museums since he was, single digits, and Emmanuel, who has 25 years of experience, and I've been collecting for myself for 30 years. I think we bring a level of expertise. Not that there aren't other great dealers, of course there are.
Who are your competitors?
The answer is I haven't even really thought about it.
No, I can't believe
they're
it.
mostly friends.
No. But who could be your competitors? Aquavella?
I think we have an amazing relationship with Aquavella and, hopefully with a lot of the other secondary dealers, but there aren't that many that are just focused on secondary. And I think we're quite close with most of them. So, I view them more as collaborators and which has kind of been my philosophy since I got to Sotheby's was, how do you collaborate with everyone?
So it's all about love in your art market story.
Yes.
No one can believe it.
It's true. C'est vrai.
So what is the next step for you now?
So I think the next step is we really have a lot of work to find a space, to build a foundation, to build a team.
So you don't have the space?
We don't. So, that's probably our number one priority, and then forming the company, and, probably won't do our first show until fall of 26.
And Emmanuel is leaving his space?
Emmanuel will probably do one more show in his space this spring, and then, we'll officially kick off in the summer, but really I think our first show won't be until the fall.
And there's a lot of space at Pace Gallery in New York, no?
I'm sure. It's a big building.
So why don't you use one of these spaces?
We really want to be uptown. We think for the market that we're in, it makes the most sense. We think it's in the right location to be in the 60s and 70s on the east side. And
old school.
Yes, exactly.
But all the buyers are living Upper East, in fact, no?
No, they're all there.
Okay. And when have you left, or are you going to leave Sotheby's? It's not clear.
So I'm going to help Sotheby's transition, over the coming months, and we'll be fully ramping up later this spring with our new venture.
Merci, monsieur.
Good to see you.